My fiancée refuses to take my last name or allow me to take hers, insisting that our future kids will only have her name. She finds the idea of married couples sharing the same last name cringy and says it makes her want to throw up. A few weeks ago, my fiancée, who is 27 and I, 28, were discussing our wedding, scheduled for June of next year, and our honeymoon. Jokingly, I said something like, "We'll see about that, future Mrs. Walkshare." She visibly cringed and told me she wouldn't be taking my last name. I responded that I would take hers instead, as I don't care whose name we use, I just want us to share one. She refused, stating she's keeping her name and I should keep mine. When I asked about our future kids' last names, she said they would take hers, making me the odd one out. To clarify, she's also opposed to hyphenating. She insists we each keep our own last names, and any future kids will only have hers. For context, I grew up in foster care after both my parents died. With no other biological family, I was moved from home to home from ages 5 to 18. I never felt welcome and always swore I'd have a real family one day. Thus, I want to share a last name with my wife and kids, regardless of whose name it is. We've been dating for 3 years and engaged for almost 5 months, and this is the first time she's expressed not wanting to share a name. Previously, she never reacted when I called her the future Mrs. Walkshare. So this is either new or she's been holding it in. I've tried discussing her reasons, but she refuses to talk about it further, leaving me at a loss. Would it be an overreaction to break up over this, given she won't discuss her reasons? She's acting like everything is normal, so I'm unsure what to think. This post received more comments than I expected. Thank you to all who replied or sent PMs, except those who called me a misogynist for suggesting she change her name. I've decided to have one more serious conversation with her about my feelings. I've packed a box with all her belongings from my house, so if it doesn't go well, I'll return them and end things. We're meeting at a park and a good friend will stay nearby, but unseen just in case. If nothing else, to have a witness that I tried everything to talk things out. Comments where I have replied. Comment 1. Tell her you'd like to change your name and why. She may not realize the reason, and may be projecting her desires onto you. If she can't understand how hurt you are, I'd be second-guessing too. Since you aren't imposing a change on her, it's worth a discussion.
Me. She knows why. She knows all about my past.
Comment 2.
Why is she so opposed to it? Has she said it's something very important to you? Is it important enough that it could end a relationship that would otherwise be headed to marriage? I don't think you are overreacting at all. Your feelings are completely valid. She may not want to talk about it anymore, but she will have to if she wants the relationship to work. In the end, only you know what your deal breakers are. Me. She won't tell me. When I ask, she says she won't discuss it further and stops speaking unless I change the subject. Comment 3. How will you discuss other conflicts or important issues once they inevitably come up during the course of your marriage? To me, the fact she won't even have a conversation about it is a red flag. Me. This is a concern. We're usually on the same page about issues, and when we aren't, we can come to some kind of compromise or mutual understanding. But her not even discussing this is giving me pause. Update 1. Here's an update to my post from yesterday. I'm still processing everything, so I may not reply to comments right away. We met up at a park today. I asked her late last night if she could meet me to talk about something, and she immediately agreed, thinking it was about the wedding. My friend was with me, but waited in my car so he wouldn't be spotted. I decided to turn on the voice recorder on my phone because in the past, she's manipulated her telling of certain situations to make it seem like she's blameless. I overlooked it before because I thought she was just used to getting her way. Now I realize that was a mistake on my part, so I got there early and walked around for a few minutes before meeting up with her in a picnic area. I asked her to sit down with me because I needed to ask her some very important questions about our future. I told her I needed answers, and I needed her to give me enough respect as a human to not walk away when I'm trying to talk. I started by explaining again how I've never felt like I was part of a real family, not since I lost my parents anyway, and how important it is to me that I feel that connection to my wife and kids. It may seem like a small thing to most, but to me it's huge. I've lived most of my life feeling like I'm completely alone. She told me she knows how hard my life has been, and now I have her, so I'm not alone anymore. Then I asked her if she could please explain to me exactly why she is so vehemently against us having the same last name. I reminded her that I don't expect her to take my name, and I'm more than willing to take hers or come up with something completely different. I just want to share a name with my wife and kids, so we're all one family unit. She went into a whole rant about how she thinks it's cheesy when she meets a couple and they introduce themselves as the last name, and that it makes her want to throw up when she hears it. Among other reasons, it makes her angry. When I brought up the fact that her parents have the same last name because they're married, she said that's different and I wouldn't understand because of being an orphan, which really threw me. Long story short, I let her know that I need some time to myself to really think things over and decide how I want to move forward. I asked her to give me time and I would let her know when I'm ready to talk. She didn't like hearing that, but I told her I needed to leave. So now I'm at home thinking about everything and wondering how to move on. I know the relationship is over, but I haven't made the breakup official yet. It's going to hurt for a long time, but I know what I need to do for my own mental health. Update 2. This will be the final update, I hope, to my relationship issue. A lot of people asked for a resolution, so I thought I'd give one to those interested. I went to work on Monday and my boss could tell I was depressed, so she asked me what was going on. I explained everything I had on my mind and the conversation I had to have over the weekend. She asked me if I wanted a distraction from everything and offered to have me accompany her and her husband, co-owners of the company I work for, on a short trip to meet with some potential clients. I would be working on the project anyway, so she thought it might be good to have me in the meetings, especially if I needed to get out of town. So, early Tuesday morning, the three of us left for the meetings. We were busy all afternoon and part of the evening, so I wasn't checking my personal cell. At 10 p.m., I saw that I had a lot of missed calls and texts from my fiancée. By a lot, I mean over 50 texts and 19 missed calls since that morning. It seems she went to my condo, and when security wouldn't let her in since I took her off my list of approved visitors, she flipped out. She started calling and texting me, then started trying to contact our mutual friends and her family, none of whom knew where I was either. Her last-ditch effort to get me to answer her was to threaten to call the police and say she hadn't seen me in days and was worried I was suicidal. And when I didn't answer right away, she went through with that plan. The police were allowed to enter the condo community, and when I didn't answer my door, they couldn't do anything else and left. This didn't please my fiancée, and she kept calling and texting. When I saw the calls and messages, I sent one text in reply that only said, "I'm on a work trip until Thursday. Please respect my need for time to think about everything. We will talk when I get home." Then I ignored everything from her for the rest of the week while I was away. Fast forward to Thursday evening. We landed back in the city, and I drove home, wanting to go to bed and sleep in the next day, since I was given the day off. I guess she was lurking nearby, because I was told later she tried to follow me into the gate, but was stopped by security since she never scanned a parking pass. That's when she started blowing up my phone again. I texted back one more time to tell her to give me space and we would talk later, then showered and went to sleep. By Friday morning, I had 73 more texts and 32 missed calls. At that point, I knew I had to just end things with her sooner rather than later, so I could get some peace. Long story made short, as of yesterday afternoon, I've ended the engagement. I took the same friend who was nearby last weekend, so I'd have a witness in case she did anything. She refuses to give the ring back because she thinks I'll come to my senses soon, and she'll keep it until then. I don't even care. She can have it. Her friends and family started calling me within 15 minutes of me ending things. I've blocked them all since they're being nasty to me and blaming me for it all. Judging by what they're saying, it seems like she made up a story about me having a mental health crisis and wanting to be alone. Again, I don't even care. My good friends were told what happened when my friend sent out a text with a brief explanation. I hope she leaves me alone so I can heal from everything over time. I'm just so emotionally exhausted.